Well, 54 entries for this round, Greg. Some of them unfortunately knocked out in qualifying, but the biggest field here this weekend, we're looking at 18-year-old Chad Turnbull from Queensland. He's one of the front runners in the class. A lot of guys here, teenagers, 17, 18, 19 years of age. We've even got a 17-year-old Australian dirt track champion having his first go at road racing, so certainly the class of beginners.
Well, Andrew Pitt will come from pole position with a flyer of a time, a 43.4 versus Turnbull from 2 and a 44.1. Let's see who gets off the line. Turnbull's got himself a good start, bike 7, so he's used the front row to good effect. And I think he's going to lead them down into turn 1. He sure does. So the pressure is on. Look at this field as they come down into turn 2. We've got Andrew Pitt, bike 8 up there as well. Phil Ryan sitting in there in bike 9. He's in second place. So the pressure is on already. 250 Production Racing once again. Ken Wooten turning it on here at Eastern Creek.
Well, Philip Ryan, a name we haven't heard a lot of. He's, I guess, a replica of an old guy in the class that raced a few years ago, Buster Saunders. Philip Ryan only 5 foot 2 inches tall as he gives chase to our leader, which is Chad Turnbull. In behind him, Michael Kinner on bike 69 and bike 5, Chris McAteer from Victoria on an exceptionally well-presented machine. But it's 18-year-old Chad Turnbull from Queensland who leads them up towards Corporate Hill. Behind Michael Kinner and behind him 19-year-old Philip Ryan from Victoria. All three very evenly matched, and surprisingly Kinner had problems in qualifying, blew up the gearbox on bike 69, and just to show that these guys are all great mates off the circuit, Chad Turnbull on bike 7, he's probably regretting it now, but he lent Kinner the spare gearbox from his machine.
And promptly Kinner has blown on by to take the lead. So Michael Kinner, bike 69, in the lead. Andrew Pitt's up there as well, and the braking duel for turn 2 is on. In fact, that's Ryan doing a great job in second place now. So Ryan has used his size and weight advantage to good effect in the 250 Proddy class, and the pressure is really on. Now, can Kinner come up with the goods? We've seen him in action in the last season at least, and he is a very stable rider. He does not get the bike too loose, and, well, he seems to be using that new gearbox to great effect. Well, the pressure is on. McAteer is back in that group, sitting in about 5th place as well. Don't discount bike 5. It's easy to spot. There it is. Multicoloured. Very, very well presented. I'll tell you what, you've got to have more than presentation in 250 Production Racing. You really have to have your race face on.
Very close, and what tends to happen in this class is the guys come into it at about 17, 18 years of age, spend their first season with some inconsistent results, a few step-offs, a little bit of bruising, and then they come back the next year wiser with that race face that you're talking about. They're much smarter, they're much smoother. As we look at one of the back markers, straight off into the sandpit, and with him goes bike 27, so that's bike 25, 27, Janif Peleg. He's out from Israel, came out here because he wanted to try road racing, and they don't have any road race circuits in Israel. He's probably regretting that choice now, Greg.
Well, that was a big get-off. I think he's done okay to sort of walk away from this. Well, he has, as they survey the situation down there. Let's have a look at it. It looks like it's come in with too much rear brake and gotten sideways. And look at this. What a place to be in. Nothing you can do about that. And 2 of the production bikes out of the game. The race continues at the front. Craig McMartin there, bike 64, starting to poke his nose in here as well. But it is still Kinner in control as he comes out of turn 3 and looking for the big drive, trying to keep the pace up. An interesting rider with a huge future.
Yeah, this year I feel really good on my bike, and everything's sort of coming together. Sunday, like, you know, I've had a few problems, but like I said, I've got over the problems, and we're getting it all organised all together.
Well, it's interesting that those problems allude to the gearbox. In fact, without the help of another competitor, he would not be riding. And in fact, Ken, a lot of that goes on in this sport. There's a lot of parts swapped between competitors as they storm off Corporate Hill. They may very well be 250 production bikes, but they are super fast once they get the apex speeds up and they can carry it through and use it for drive onto the straight. That's exactly what they're doing here as they head for the 1 kilometre downhill run here at Eastern Creek. Now have a look at bike 64. The back starts shaking around, the fairing's moving, And McMartin here just, well, is determined to get the thing to turn in. Got the weight onto the front and it worked brilliantly for him.
It was interesting listening to Michael Kinner before when he was talking about problems. I think one of the problems is being in a group of bikes this large, this closely together as they come through for the final lap. 1.34 seconds covers the top 7 in this class, and that is very close racing and a fantastic training ground to step up to the other classes, be it 600 Supersport, Superbikes or 250 GP. As we go back to Kinner, out in front on bike 69, stock standard RGV 250 Suzuki. You can buy them for $9,500 at your local Suzuki dealer. Slip on some bodywork, go out there and mix it handlebar to handlebar in a pack of young guys like this. It's no place for weak hearts.
Well, it's interesting when you talk to the younger guys, when it comes to qualifying for these blokes, they're actually happier when there's someone out in front of them. Their inexperience starts to show when they really need that carrot, something to drag them along. Here's Michael Kinner, one of the more experienced campaigners, able to lead the race from the front and quite happy to do so. Up and over Corporate Hill one more time, and G. Kinner's in control of this one, and he comes onto the double apexer here. You can see here now he'll drive out of this, looking for the second apex onto the straight, and away he goes. Now he might have a look behind to see if anyone's there. Yes, he does, just to check on the situation, but it is his race. He's earned it and fought for it. So Kinner gets across the line for a great win, and he has had a really troubled weekend. So congratulations to Michael Kinner, a brilliant performance.
It's been a fantastic weekend of racing in the 250 Proddies. Michael Kinner taking the win from Philip Ryan of the weekend.
Bit of Goddard on screen, just checking out the front tyre. Each of the riders by now has really come up with